Let's get real for a second. When winning becomes all about being the cheapest, eventually nobody wins. For decades, China's rise felt like an unstoppable force of nature. It was the world's factory, built on a level of efficiency so ruthless it almost felt like a work of art. We're talking about cities that never sleep, assembly lines glowing through the night, and prices that dropped so consistently that Western competitors just gave up. It was a miracle of scale and discipline, a whole civilization turning human labor into raw economic horsepower. But here's the thing. Every miracle comes with a hidden bill. And China's greatest strength, its ability to make everything cheaper, faster, and bigger, is now the very thing dragging it down. Welcome back to the Hidden Ledger, where we strip away the surface-level noise to look at the source code of money, power, and history. The Get Rich Patch, 1978. To understand how we got here, we have to go back to 1978. Deng Xiaoping stood up and basically hacked the Communist Party's core ideology. He told a nation of 1 billion people that getting rich wasn't shameful. It was vatanseverse, patriotic. That one sentence flipped a switch. Overnight, peasants became entrepreneurs, and rice paddies became industrial parks. Western investors saw a gold mine, endless cheap labor, and a government that was ready to do whatever it took to make a deal. They started with special economic zones like Shenzhen, small test environments, where the rules were different. It worked too well. Shenzhen went from a tiny fishing village to a megalopolis of millions in the blink of an eye. The race to the bottom. By the early 2000s, China wasn't just growing, it was devouring global demand. Every Western company that wanted to survive offshored their production there. But under that rise was a dangerous incentive. Success meant being cheaper than the guy next door. Local governments competed for factories by slashing land prices, cutting taxes, and keeping wages low. Everyone was chasing growth, but nobody was chasing sustainability. It was a race to the bottom disguised as progress. Involution. The system is glitching. Now, we hit the term that's haunting the Chinese economy today. Involution, Neijuan. Think of it as a treadmill that's accelerating but going nowhere. It's not just about people working harder. It's about companies producing more for less. It's a zero-sum war for market share, where the only weapon left is price. Look at the industries that were supposed to be China's new green future. Solar panels, electric vehicles, EVs, and batteries. Solar panels. In 2023, China produced more than twice the world's total demand. Prices plummeted by nearly 40% in a single year. EVs. There are over 100 brands fighting for a shrinking domestic market. The glitch. When profits disappear, the factories don't slow down. They accelerate. They hope that volume will make up for the loss. It doesn't. It just creates a self-destructive loop where efficiency devours profit. Weaponized efficiency, the strategic play. You might be thinking, why don't they just stop? Well, some of this is by design. The Chinese government has mastered weaponized efficiency. They use subsidies to keep key industries alive just long enough to crush everyone else. It's not about quarterly profits, it's about strategic monopoly. Beijing doesn't mind losing money in the short term if it means controlling the arteries of the 21st century economy. Lithium batteries, EV tech, and green energy. They flood the market, undercut every Western rival until they go bankrupt, and then wait to dominate the entire global supply chain. But there's a limit. You can't lose money strategically forever before the foundation starts to rot. Why history is rhyming China didn't invent this trap. History is full of these over-optimization bugs. Britain. Their coal industry once flooded global markets so hard that prices collapsed, and their own miners couldn't even afford to eat. Japan, 1980s. They hit the same wall, overcapacity, deflation, and an aging population that just stopped spending. Rome. Their downfall began with overproduction. Huge slave estates pumped out so much grain that prices tanked, bankrupting the small farmers who were the backbone of the republic. Image comparing the GDP growth patterns of post-war Japan and modern China. The final balance sheet. The irony here is brutal. China's industrial overproduction keeps global inflation low, which feels like a gift to Western consumers. But at home, it depresses wages and kills domestic demand. China has mastered the art of production, but it has lost its balance. When growth becomes your only identity and production replaces your purpose, you're not developing anymore. You're just evolving on an industrial scale. And as every empire before it eventually learned, there is nothing more expensive than being too cheap. Because when you optimize everything except balance, the only thing left to destroy is the system itself. If this deep dive into the Chinese industrial involution gave you a new perspective on why your tech is getting cheaper, but the world feels more fragile, you're in the right place. We're here to look past the user interface of the global economy and straight into the code. If you enjoyed this session, hit that subscribe button and join the Hidden Ledger family. I'll keep digging into the archives to show you where the world is really heading. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.